Hey everyone, it's Ivan, keepatcha.com, out here with a sweet mustache for another gear review. And today, talking knives, this guy right here, which is the McQueen by DiFree company. If you're unfamiliar with DiFree company, pretty cool little company up in New Hampshire, hence DiFree company, live for your die state. And they make a couple different products. If you are familiar with what was the Stoner rifle grip, they now make that. They actually have a mold for the Kung Fu grip. They also make some soft goods, pretty cool t-shirts, sure you've probably seen me wearing them. And they also make the McQueen. So, what is the McQueen? It's a fighting knife. Just kidding. It's just everyday carry knife. Like, it's literally made to have on you to deal with daily tasks, largely opening Amazon boxes, things like that. And it being a knife, you can of course do anything a knife would do, i.e. largely cut things. But yeah, basically it's an everyday carry knife. And there's some kind of pretty neat kind of design features built into it that, yeah, I'll go over now. The body of the knife is made out of 17.4 stainless steel, same with the pocket clip. And the pocket clip is reversible, so point up, point down, depending on how you want to do it. You can undo that and basically reverse that pocket clip. And dimensionally about 3.5 inches long, with a 2.5 inch long blade, bringing it to a total of 6 inches. And the blade steel on this is CPM 4V and has a 25-degree continuous actual blade on it. Overall, pretty neat. To include this locking mechanism where you pull it down in order to release the blade. When it comes up, locks into place. There's a number of things I actually really like with this little knife. One of them being it wasn't made by like knife makers. It was basically engineer and industrial designer that were like, hey man, like let's make a cool knife. And so with that, you just see things on this that were basically, they approached it differently. Because it wasn't like, oh, well, a knife making school we did. And they're like, oh, like, how can we make a locking mechanism? Cool, like, let's make this locking mechanism. Rather than like a liner lock or something along those lines. And yeah, it just made something really cool. Again, hearkening to the name, McQueen, kind of 60s, 70s, like muscle car-ish. And just really sleek and cool looking blade. Which brings me to how have I used it, how is it done for me? Well, it's an everyday carry blade, so to that end, absolutely like everyday carry. Just basically keep it down in my pocket like this, front right usually, and it's cool. Feels good in the hand, same within the pocket, nice and thin. And I've used it to cut things, to include just packages open and stuff like that. I've also taken it and used it somewhat outside of its original design aspect, but as I've mentioned, it is a knife and it will cut things. So I actually ended up gutting out a deer with this last year to include, because a couple different ways to go about actually like gutting deer. One of the ways is you basically remove, or elk for that matter, anything like that, remove part of the pelvis in the front and then everything just goes straight out. Ideally you have a bone saw, but if you don't have a bone saw, you can basically use a blade and baton it through the pelvis with, I forget, I might have had a rock or something like that, because this is a little bit dinged up. But yeah, basically baton this through bone and pull all the entrails out, because this was the blade I had and that task needed to get done. Was this ideal for that? Not really, but again, blade I had, and it's one of those, like, it's the Indian, not the arrow. So what I do like about this though, aside from honestly just aesthetics and stuff like that, it's just a cool looking knife, and you can carry it with anything. What do I mean? Well, you can throw this in some jeans, or you can be in a suit and have this in a suit, and it doesn't look out of place anywhere. Like, anywhere. You can pretty much scale your attire if you're fancy, and this will absolutely scale with you, up or down, doesn't really matter. And like I said, it's just a cool knife. When you get into the world of knives, they all cut. So they can pretty much all do cutting tasks. And once you move away from a very specific application, like a fillet knife, this is not. Could you fillet with it? Probably. Would not want to do that. Like, not the right tool for the job. But most knives, their actual application is really just like opening boxes and stuff. And this will absolutely do that. It's a cool little knife. These are designed, manufactured, assembled, all that stuff here in the US. Consequently, price reflects it. I want to say around 320 bucks. Right now, they are on sale. I think around like 250 bucks. So not sure how long that sale will go into the future. But if you are interested, there'll be a link down below. You can check them out. Is it expensive? If you just need a knife to cut things, yes, it's expensive. And in that case, just like go buy a Mora. Pretty much impossible to beat for the money if you just need a knife to cut things. That said, Moras are also like a fixed blade, and you're not gonna everyday carry one. One, because sheath sucks. And yeah, like you're buying this because you want a knife, and you're buying it because you think it's pretty cool. And once we get past a knife cutting things and away from a very specialized knife for a very specialized task, it really comes down to the aesthetics and yeah, story behind it, stuff like that. But overall, been pretty pleased with this. And like I said, there'll be links down below if you want to check it out. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Your life, your loss, and you can't turn the clock around. I said, oh my God, you could have this, and I want you, but I miss your shot. You let yourself get